Everyone, remain calm.
Yeah, that's how it always starts. But then later there's running and screaming.
Somebody talk to me! What is happening?
Welcome to Jurassic World.
You're listening to the Jurassic Park Podcast.
You want to consult here or in my bungalow? Hold on to your butts.
Well, we're back.
Hello and welcome to the 128th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Jost, and we're here to discuss all things Jurassic Park. I'm sure we're all still reeling from that trailer for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I know I am. What an amazing week it was for us Jurassic fans. We had an incredible week last week. I'm not really sure we've experienced anything like that before, but alas, we have a new week ahead of us, so let's get this started. In this episode, we have some collecting news and more to cover as usual. After that, I'm going to talk a bit about the trailer, analyze it, go through the trailer along with you, so stay tuned for that. Next up, we present episode 12 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park from Arjun Boss. Last time we learned a lot about the original development of dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and a lot of information about the raptors as well. In store for us this week are some big details regarding Jurassic Park 3, some big time acting from our very own Jennifer Tarek, and more weaving into the Jurassic World timeline. There's some really great details in this one. And of course, after Extinction Level, I'll be giving all of my thoughts in the after show on episode 12. There will certainly be a lot to uncover. Following that, we have another great installment of the Jurassic Pop Quiz. We've had the normal edition, the live at Frontier edition, the kids edition, and now I guess we can call this one the teen edition, as James Hawkins interviews and questions his 14-year-old cousin on the franchise. I love it. I think this is a wonderful new edition, so don't miss it. Alright, well, I don't know if you're overloaded with Jurassic content after last week, but we are 128 episodes in, no stopping anytime soon, and this is a packed episode, so why don't we get things started off with a bit of Jurassic news from around the world.
18 minutes and your company catches up on 10 years of research.
Access main program. Access main security.
These pictures were taken in hospital in Costa Rica 48 hours ago.
I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but look.
Boy, do I hate being right all the time.
But today, I guarantee it.
Just before the Fallen Kingdom trailer hit, Chronicle Collectibles revealed a sneak peek at the box art for an upcoming project. And that box art showcases, well, let's just face it, it's the hood of the Ford Explorer from Jurassic Park. You know, the one that got trampled by the T-Rex, went over the cliff, all that stuff. This one appears to be in good condition, little rain on it so far, but I think it's safe to assume that the Chronicle Collectibles team is producing that Ford Explorer that we know and love. Judging from this post on Facebook, it looks like it's coming in sometime maybe in 2018, I'm not too sure, there's not a ton of details here. It's just a sneak peek, so stay tuned for more and we'll be posting about it as soon as it hits. Head to our show notes to see that box art and to find more from Chronicle Collectibles. More news on the collecting front. It looks like Iron Studios has debuted its amazing T-Rex breakout diorama at the Comic-Con Experience 2017 in Brazil. Now, this diorama, I haven't seen it in person, but I've seen a lot of pictures. The thing looks huge. It encompasses the entire breakout scene, which is nuts. There's a giant statue of the Rex roaring. On the other side, you have you have two Ford Explorers here. One upside down with Lex and Tim in it. You have the other one on the other side with Ian stepping out. You have Grant in front of it with the flare. You have the road even. You've got the cement barricade and the fence and everything. All the metal poles, the lights and the wires and there's, I don't know if these plants come with it, but there's plants all over the place. This is insane. This thing is huge, highly detailed. It looks phenomenal. Now, I don't have any more details at the moment. Hopefully we'll find out some more soon, but check out the pictures on our website. We'll be showcasing some of these from CCXP 2017. Entertainment Weekly last week debuted a great article showcasing some more information about Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Now, if you haven't read it yet, there's a bunch of details in here. I'm going to read a bit here from the article that showcases a lot of details. Let's check it out. Claire has founded an organization, Dinosaur Protection Group, and they're finding a way to get these dinosaurs off the island. She reaches out to Owen Grady to let him know that this is happening. So that all came from Bryce Dallas Howard herself, and she does mention that the relationship is complicated, I guess, when the film starts. So I guess even though they were together at the end of Jurassic World doesn't necessarily mean that they're together at the start of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And we obviously got hints of that in the trailer. But the big news in this part of the article is that Claire has founded a Dinosaur Protection Group, trying to get these dinosaurs off the island. We also got hints of that in the trailer as well. The name here is very interesting. It's very straightforward, Dinosaur Protection Group. No hidden details there, pretty straightforward. So I think it's a great dynamic the way she changed from Jurassic World to Fallen Kingdom, that she has taken a big step in learning much more about these dinosaurs and protecting them, not being so careless about everything that she seemed to be in the first movie. So this is a great way for her to expand this character. The article reveals that Daniela Pineda and Justice Smith play these new characters that are involved in this dinosaur saving group, but I'm really interested to see what kind of roles they play, whether they are just normal people, donating their time to saving dinosaurs, or maybe they're scientists or educators or something like that. We'll have more about this in a second, but for now, if you want to check out the article from Entertainment Weekly, head to our show notes. Next up, we have our first bit of viral marketing for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. A website popped up online along with a bunch of social media accounts, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, for the Dinosaur Protection Group that Claire runs. Now, they have a cute little logo, which is a Stegosaurus with DPG in the spikes on its back. On the website, you can actually put your name and email in there, and I'm assuming eventually you'll get some kind of email about this Dinosaur Protection Group. I can't wait to see what happens with this viral marketing. It's going to be great. The Mizrahi Global stuff was amazing last time, so I can't wait to see what happens here. And we also have a new image, courtesy of those social media pages, that showcases Claire, Daniela Pineda, Justice Smith, and a bunch of school children in a classroom. I'm assuming learning about how to protect dinosaurs, which is a really cool touch. Now, we saw a lot of this stuff teased in pictures and stuff from the set, from like Frank Marshall and people like that, showcasing this dinosaur saving campaign. So I'm sure this is just an extension of that. And, right now we don't have any more details like a lot of the news this week, but I'm sure we're going to learn a lot more soon. Head to our website to see those images, the logo, and to sign up for the Dinosaur Protection Group. Independent sat down with J.A. Bayona to ask him a ton of questions following the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom trailer. I'm going to read a lot of the quotes here, so let's buckle up and take a listen. Colin and I would talk about bringing back as many animatronics as possible, which is very challenging because animatronics are normally designed for very specific shots. It's not like you can have an animatronic that looks amazing for one shot and not use it in the next shot, so it's limited. But at the same time, I think it makes a difference when you have an animatronic on set for performance. It even helps for CGI later on because you have real textures, something real. There was a video that was released that's short of Owen with Baby Blue. You can see Chris Pratt that he was acting in front of something real, even though that shot is CGI. But there was a puppet that looked exactly like Blue. So you can tell by the performance that he's moved by the real thing. So they're very helpful. I think that the combination is a secret for success. When you can combine CGI with animatronics in the same scene, there's that moment where you can trick the audience so that they don't know what they're watching. That was the best plan. And here he talks a little bit about Jeff Goldblum. He's more like a cameo. He doesn't have a major role in the action, but it's definitely a very meaningful one in terms of the story. He's always somehow been the voice of conscience in these movies, telling us where the red lines are. He plays that role in this film. For Colin and I, it was about finding connections with the old trilogy that makes it very rich as we are expanding Jurassic World, but also finding new connections with Jurassic Park. It's an illusion of the same universe. We have James Cromwell playing a character who has a relationship established with John Hammond. We have B.D. Wong playing Dr. Wu again. It's kind of exciting when you find your connections to take the story to a whole new level. Independent asks him a question about weaponized dinosaurs in the sequel, and this is what he has to say. This is a constant debate on the internet. I'm not going to talk about it. So yeah, there was a lot of interesting details in this article. He's not going to talk about those weaponized dinosaurs, though. That's pretty funny. I don't know what that means specifically, but he's definitely not talking about it. But I do like that he talks about Chris Pratt interacting with something physical, that puppet, but also the scene being CGI as well, and that great combination that you can have of CGI and animatronics and make it amazing. There's no, conflict of interest between the two. It's, not one is better than the other. You have to use them and blend them well in the same scene. He also continues to confirm that Jeff Goldblum's role is very small, but major in a certain way, so I can't wait to see how that plays out. But by the judge of it, it looks like there's a ton of callbacks to the original trilogy from this article, from the behind-the-scenes stuff, all the teasers, the trailer itself. It looks like we're going to see a lot of connections. If you want to learn more about it, head to our show notes to find the article from Independent.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Where's Aunt Claire?
7 o'clock tomorrow night on the East Dock. Make sure he gets it right.
But it's alive, and everyone on the planet's going to line up to appreciate it and everything done.
People would say they could see the fleas. Oh, I can see the fleas, Mummy, can't you see the fleas?
Are these characters autoerotic?
No.
Come on!
Wow, what a week. What a week we had as Jurassic fans. That was insane. There's no other way to describe it. It was pure insanity from start to finish. Hyping up this trailer more than any trailer I've really ever seen hyped. It's incredible. They had logos across buildings all over the world. They had this thing all over TV, these teasers all on the internet, on social media, everywhere, on Snapchat, on everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, all this stuff. It was everywhere. I was so blown away by the excitement that Universal was bringing to this franchise, unlike they've ever done before. It's like they really cared about it this time and wanted to show that and wanted to show us something new, something huge. And I think they pulled it off. There's been some complaints here and there about the trailer, but I don't care. I don't care. I'm all there for a big, huge, action-packed, explosion-filled dinosaur movie. I'm a kid, right? I mean, I'm a 32-year-old kid at heart, and that's what I want to see. I want to see this stuff that I've known and loved forever brought to life in a new way, and I think this trailer really pulled it off. And it's a trailer, folks. Let's not take it too far. We don't know much about the film itself, how the film will play out, how we'll like and appreciate that film. We know this trailer looks amazing. There's so much to dive into on this trailer. But the film, we can't judge that yet. But this trailer itself looks incredible to me. I was blown away. I did my reaction video, which you can find on YouTube, on our website, or wherever. And I think that showcases how I felt right off the bat. I hadn't watched it previously. I just set up the camera and turned on the video and started watching. And I was shocked, awed. I was nearly brought to tears at times. And I think a lot of people felt that way. But in this segment, I kind of wanted to just go through that trailer, talk about some of my highlights, and listen along with me as you're going through it here. I'm going to play the trailer, talk over it, I'm going to pause it, and we're going to have fun here. So this thing starts off with a song by Irma Thomas, Anyone Who Knows What Love Is. Great track to use. I never in my life would have imagined that you'd use a track like this in a Jurassic trailer. It's perfect. I don't know if they're taking a cue from Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor Ragnarok, but I think they maybe have been. And, especially with that baby Velociraptor, I think we're getting that baby Groot's Porg, thing going on for Jurassic, but they're making it a little poppy here and a little old school. So they got this song by Irma Thomas, Anyone Who Knows What Love Is. And funny coincidence, the song itself was also produced by Randy Newman. or written by Randy Newman, who popped up in Jurassic Park 3 with Big Hat, No Cattle. So that's another nice tie-in there. So let's dive into this trailer. Get this record turning. They're in an old bar. So reminiscent. Actually, guys, there's going to be a lot of tie-ins to Jurassic Park 3. I think more than anything, we've all been talking about The Lost World and how much it's tying into that. But my God, there's so many references right off the bat to Jurassic Park 3. I mean, look, that Randy Newman thing I just said with this song. They're in an old dive bar. That is so Jurassic Park 3 to me. And with the Big Hat, No Cattle, playing in that bar where the Kirbys and Grant and Billy meet, and they're meeting here to set up another trip to an island. Like, it's the same thing. It's exactly the same. So,
what are you dating, like an accountant now? Or
we do learn
ventriloquist?
Stop it.
You
that
love a dummy.
obviously there's some tension here between Claire and Owen. He looks a little angry, to be fair, and she's just like, Owen, stop. Look, we're past that. We're on to bigger and better things, or maybe not better, but this is going to be destructive. But he looks kind of cranky about this whole thing.
This is not why we're here.
But it stops on this, or not stops, but it continues on to this shot of Owen flying over Jurassic World, essentially in an airplane. Very reminiscent of everybody looking out the airplane in Jurassic Park 3. We either come to this island via helicopter or small airplane. And, or I guess you could say, what do you call it? Parasail. I guess you could say that too. But hopefully there's no parasailing in this movie. But we do get this nice plane ride with Owen, looking very nostalgic over this island.
A rescue op. Save the dinosaurs from an island that's about to explode.
Wow.
What could go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong? Well, the way this trailer is laid out, maybe it's not the most, it's not in the best timeline of events, because they're at a bar, there's explosions, then everything's fine a little bit, then there's some destruction again. But yeah, what could go wrong? People are taking that quote, I feel like, in the wrong way, and I think that's the in general purpose of Owen is he's a goofball. And he says something like that in this trailer in the beginning here. You like what was it? You like goofballs, or you like dummies?
Ventriloquist?
Stop it.
You love a dummy.
There it
This
is.
is not right.
So I think he is a dummy. He doesn't try to mistake that at all. He's pretty silly at times and arrogant, but also funny and making quips and stuff. So I think that's what he's doing here in this scene here.
Wrong.
What could possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Blue is alive.
So she's got some intel, I guess, that Blue is alive.
Blue is alive. You raised her.
Talking about raising her. Man, yeah. And they're showing that old clip of Blue, which we got to know that's Blue now. It's not any offspring, unless there's some twist and turn here that we're not expecting, or they're trying to really manipulate that clip, but it's definitely Blue. And he is so, he's staring at her like, why'd you have to bring that up?
These animals deserve the same protections given to other species.
And this scene here, when it looks like there's a containment truck driving through Main Street, we get to see this gift shop of sorts, I guess. There's a bunch of toys here, some Hasbro toys. We see the Dilophosaurus. We see the Stomp and Strike, I believe that's what that one is. Yeah, Stomp and Strike. And I think there might be maybe an Allosaurus or something else. I don't know. One of the other ones maybe. But I actually have this dinosaur, this one in the middle next to the Compy. I don't think it's not a Jurassic Park toy, but it is a dinosaur. And again, in Jurassic Park 3 style, we get a dinosaur almost faking that it's a statue of sorts. The raptor in Jurassic Park 3 behind that water container thingy, that tube, pretending like it was just in the tube, I guess. I don't know what it was doing, but we have a Compy here doing the same thing. This thing got me so good. I was so blown away. I was like, oh, toys. Oh, whoa, what? You serious? But we get an amazing shot. my God, of a Brachiosaurus, at the really torn apart Innovation Center. Like, I think I have to think that since this area is exposed, it's out in the open, maybe a hurricane or something had to have blown through here because this place is demolished. I mean, yeah, obviously dinosaurs are roaming through here, but this is demolished. Like, almost more than the visitor center was in Jurassic World. Like, what happened here? I mean, I know there was a lot of destruction in that fight on Main Street, but come on. I mean, there's plants overgrowing everywhere, and something that I've visualized since the beginning. I made images of the visitor center overgrown with weeds, which we do see happening here. A lot of the panels are torn off. The glass is broken. There's just stuff everywhere, which makes me wonder, like, if there was excursions and stuff like that, like Jurassic Park 3 with those parasail guys that were not supposed to be there. I wonder if there was any kind of infiltrating of this island and stuff like that by people who shouldn't have been and kind of just ransacked the place, because that's what it looks like. Let's see what else we got here. We got that Brachiosaurus again, just incredible. No, wait, the fact that we get a Brachiosaurus is amazing. I've been dying to get another one of those since the start. I'm not counting that one in Jurassic Park 3. Hideous. But let's see. We get a courtroom scene of sorts. I don't know what it looks like. Maybe in Washington, or I don't know where it could be, but it's legit. It's not like, your small time courtroom. But in here we have people questioning Ian Malcolm.
These creatures were here before us.
And
if we're not careful, they're going to be here after.
I can't help but be so concerned with Ian Malcolm's voice here. He's usually like, very confident and loud and protruding his voice and just knowing exactly what he wants to say. But here, he's really thinking about it. And he's obviously older, but he's very thoughtful and concerned, and his voice is just not as much there as it used to be. And, I mean, we've seen Jeff Goldblum in a bunch of movies recently and just all over the place recently. He's still as suave as ever, but here, he's not as Jeff Goldblum-y, I guess you could say. He's bearded, he looks like older, and I don't know what they're trying to, symbolize here, but he's a little rough. Like, listen to his voice.
Before us. These creatures were here before us.
So concerned.
And if we're not careful, they're going to be here after.
Now, you can't always take these literally because sometimes these voiceovers might not be the way they're represented in the movies. So maybe it could be a little bit different. I'm not too sure. Specifically, I remember a lot from Rogue One. The trailer was very different than the movie ended up being. But who knows? But during this, we get a bunch of flashes of the T-Rex in the containment unit. We get a crazy shot of, I guess, all the destruction. It looks like this lava has just decimated Isla Nublar. And it's from like the inside of, I guess, a giant ship, a container ship of some sort with an opening in the back. I guess how they got all these trucks in there. Probably last second, it would seem. But there's a lot of trucks. There's a lot of people in there. You see a Stegosaurus, but out the back, you just see the island on fire and smoke everywhere and just cloudy. And oh my God, it's horrifying. Oh my God. You get the baryonyx, lava flowing into that maintenance shed of sorts with Claire and Justice Smith's character. We get the more shots of the volcano exploding and pteranodons and maybe a dimorphodon. Maybe it's a pteranodon. And then I don't know why, but why are these things exploding? They're on the dock, which is the East Dock. We get to know, of course, here. The East Dock is exploding for some reason. I mean, there's no visible lava or anything or any reasoning, but stuff is exploding. Like all these giant cans and stuff exploding as Chris Pratt and I think it was it Bryce and Justice Smith are running. And East Dock. Which brings us to this scene here. Let's go back just a second and take a listen.
You know me.
Now, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. Chris Pratt seems to be wandering around in the jungle and just so happens to stumble upon that upside down Ford Explorer that fell from the ravine 25 years ago or however long. Insane. It's just incredible. You know, the door's still open there and this thing still fell from the tree. Obviously, nobody cleaned up. Like, let's face it, Masrani's company, they're a little lax as well. You know, we've criticized John Hammond and InGen for their inability to run a park. But, man, Masrani just didn't care to clean up. He didn't hire any cleaning crew to, you know, make this island a better place anymore. It's just still got all the old stuff there. But Blue shows up out of nowhere, jumps on top of this vehicle, just like the Mark Englert poster that was released before Jurassic World, I think during Comic-Con. So it's amazing that that's coming to life, whether that was an Easter egg this whole time or they're like, you know what, let's bring that to life. That would be amazing. I'm not too sure, but it's happening. And Owen is thrown off. He is scared. I guess he wasn't expecting it. And Blue is freaking as well. And we get a nice look. It's almost like Chris Pratt and his guyliner again. You know, the early trailers, which were thankfully fixed, you know, Chris Pratt had like so much eyeliner on, which was hilarious. But here it looks like maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I'm seeing it again, I think. But he's holding up his hand, typical Pratt keeping style.
You know me.
You know me. Blue is wandering over to him with that iconic shot of that upside down Ford Explorer. And her hand is oh so close to, or no, I'm sorry, not her hand. Her head. I'm delirious, obviously. Her head is oh so close to his hand. He is praying and hoping that, you know, he doesn't get the Hawkins treatment. But wow, you know, she does. You know, I think they're trying to, you know, make you think that she's set off by the explosion of the volcano. Very well could be true, I guess, but I think that's probably a misdirection there. You know, maybe she was just doing a raptor call to somebody else, to another raptor, which is, you know, bound to happen. There's got to be other raptors on this island, I think. But we do get that exploding volcano from an incredible angle from, you know, more towards, I guess, the center of the island, looking at the back of this island. You can see the water, you know, on the horizon. Maybe that's Gyrosphere Valley. I don't know. I'm not sure what the directional, you know, what direction we're facing here or anything. But man, you know, we get the typical Pratt running, all the dinosaurs coming in behind him. Terrifying stuff. Patosauruses, comets raining down, Compsognathus jumping, and this we just did not expect, guys. Like, we saw all that in these teasers, and they're like, all right, I think we're safe, but this Carnotaurus, man, comes out of nowhere and, you know, it's stalking them. I'm going to go back and take a listen to that thing because the sound design on that thing is incredible. Oh man, but that Carnotaurus looks amazing. It looks so tactile. Like, I could reach out and feel that thing. It's so bumpy and rigid, and it looks amazing. Like, I can't believe how good it looks. And Chris Pratt is like throwing up the biggest, like, what kind of, you know, like, he's like, what? when this T-Rex comes in and just demolishes this Carnotaurus, I don't think it kills it, but oh my God, she just owns the thing. And the Carnotaurus is just laying there. Its tail is squirming, and you know, its head is bobbing a little bit. I don't know if it's like breathing its last dying breaths, or you know, she didn't necessarily kill it. I want to take a look at that bite, but we know that grip is just too much to handle. So let's see. You know. Ooh, it's a pretty big bite, though. Come on. I don't think that thing's going to live. got her foot on its neck, roaring with the volcano
Life
in the
cannot be
background.
contained.
I can't believe that shot will forever be iconic. Like, oh my God. You know, so like I said before about the voiceovers, I hope that this comes to light exactly like this. It's incredible. But it is something I'm like, why did they spoil this? Like, you know, there's got to be a lot better stuff in this movie to spoil something as iconic and as amazing as this, which we do know via Colin Trevorrow that this all takes place in the first 57 minutes of the movie, which is going to be half the movie, maybe even less than half. Hopefully. Man, I hope this is a long movie. But that's crazy that this is not the climax of the movie. It's not anything near the end at all. It's all in the first half, which you look at this stuff and everybody that views this trailer is like, oh, it's a dumb action movie, or, you know, it's just a destruction movie. It's something like Transformers, or it's just too much explosions. But this is all a small portion of the movie. You know, that first 57 minutes is going to have a lot of setup. It's going to have a lot of these courtroom scenes, it seems like, and some of the dinosaur protection stuff, I'm assuming. And then we're going to have this excursion to the island. But I don't think it's going to be a lot, so it's going to be interesting. And I think it's going to be a small portion. But this shot with the T-Rex, I just cannot get enough of. But, man, I think it's going to be bad news, you know? I know we saw that Rex in the container before, but how? How do you get out of that situation? I don't know. I don't understand.
Life cannot be contained. Life breaks free. Life.
We get a new dinosaur here that we haven't seen before, the Allosaurus. We get it. It's like rapidly running. It's like faster than any dinosaur I've seen. It's crazy looking. But the thing is smashing into other dinosaurs, then smashing into the gyrosphere.
Life breaks free. Life.
And then I don't know if that's the same one, but it
away.
got demolished, it looked like. And it brings us to, man, this thing brought me to tears. Like, you see this hill that they're all running down ends in a ginormous cliff into the ocean. And behind them is the billowing smoke from this volcano rushing down the island. And I don't know how much lava is contained in that smoke, you know, down below, but the dinosaurs are certainly afraid, and they're all running off the cliff. It's horrifying. It's sad. It's, I mean, some people have issue with the stampede. I don't. I think it's perfectly acceptable and horrifying, and I think that's naturally what would happen. I mean, I think when spooked, animals will run in a direction that they're maybe not too sure of, and they'll probably do some destruction along the way, and maybe even hurt themselves.
Finds a way.
Like the Pteranodons, yeah, they're cool. They can just go wherever they want. But Chris Pratt gets consumed by the smoke here too. So, but you know, if you did pay attention to the behind-the-scenes clip, you do see the gyrosphere in the water, and you do see him diving into the water. So, let's be honest, he's gonna make it out of that. But gyrosphere is plummeting to the ocean. That's gotta hurt, you know? I mean, I'm sure. Let's see, are they buckled in? I want to double check real quick. You know, make sure they're doing it safe. Oh yeah, they're buckled in. Good call, guys. Justice Smith and Bryce Dallas Howard plummeting down into the ocean, hitting the ocean. It looks like we got a Stegosaurus there. Oh my god, Ankylosaurus, Apatosaurus. I think there was a Gallimimus getting destroyed. Oh my god, it's so sad. The logo, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Unfortunately, June 22nd, 2018. Which is upsetting to me because it's released in the UK June 7th, which is far too soon compared to our date. Spoilers are going to be running amok on the internet. It's not going to be a fun experience for fans. I don't think that's a good experience for us because so many of us are in the UK and so many of us are in the United States and elsewhere around the globe. I'm not sure what all the other release dates are, but we all interact and we all talk with each other. So you're telling us that we can't talk for however many weeks. Like, it's rough. I can't believe that this is happening. Like, The Last Jedi is coming out this week, and the premiere was this past weekend, and I'm already struggling, to go on the internet and to find out information. I don't want to find out about that movie. So, with Jurassic World debuting on the 7th, and then the 22nd is horrifying. I'm sorry, guys. Can't talk to you. Won't be able to talk to you. That's upsetting to me. But anyway, that trailer was incredible. I tried to cover as much as I could there. But yeah, there's so much to uncover, and surely enough that I didn't even touch on. But it's just me fanboying over all this stuff and going crazy. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy intense movie and explosions and destruction, but I'm sure the ending and more of the movie will be quieter and more intimate and scary and thrilling. So we have a lot to look forward to. I don't know what's going to happen next, but they revealed so much right at the 6-month mark, essentially, maybe a little more. But they revealed so much. I'm like, what else? What else do you have? What else could you do? I don't know. At this point, I'm like, do nothing. Do nothing at all. Save it, okay? Please. Because we can talk about this stuff, and we will continue to talk about this stuff for weeks to come. But, that's our reaction for now, and we'll be happing? That's not a thing. We'll be talking about this a lot more in the coming weeks. And now let's dive into episode 12 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
Previously on Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
I was asked to give you this.
Yes. Henry will be pleased. Henry.
Your order has arrived.
Finally. Thank you, sir.
Sarah, my dear. I'm so happy to see you.
Happy to see you too, Dad.
Come on, let's see the animals. But I must warn you, you may not like what you're about to see. They're sick, and we're trying to find the cure. Let me explain while we eat. Lunch should be ready in about 30 minutes in the break room. You can refresh here first.
Vic, they touched ground. It seems they landed, took off again, and crashed somewhere north of the landing strip. Go!
Let's take it back with us. Where can I do my research?
Episode 12, Finding a Way. After Henry Wu left Sarah and Tim to refresh at their quarters, he went to look for Mr. Masrani. As he entered the control tower, he found Simon Masrani listening intently to a radio, together with the commander and 2 of the 3 control workers.
He hasn't been dead for a long time. Body's still warm.
Mr. Masrani, we're about to have lunch. Would you join us to answer some of their questions?
You can handle it, Henry. I know what I need to know. You are doing what's best for the animals and the company. I need to handle this.
Okay, what can I tell them?
Anything you think they need to know, I will leave it up to you.
Sir, after, I would like to take a team and go to the old research compound to...
That's the team on the other end. They found a dead T-Rex.
What killed it?
Seems like the spinal broke Freddy's neck here. Tracks all over the place.
Fred? The one with the limp? Please, tell them to bring me a blood sample.
Vic, Henry asked for a sample of T-Rex blood. Can you take that back with you?
Sure.
What are they doing there anyway?
It seems we have uninvited guest. The team found their plane crashed. It seems the Spino attacked them, and then... Apparently it killed the Rex. The plane was bloodied. But it looks like 3 or 4 people got away. They are going to track them. Your trip to the compound will have to wait until they are back, I'm afraid. Unless you think Tim and Sarah can provide you enough protection. They are free, and it will be good for Tim too.
Can they shoot?
His dad took him to practice at a gun range at times, and Sarah was the one that sedated the T-Rex with a tranquilizer in San Diego. So yeah, she can shoot.
Okay, we'll take the car. It should be fine.
Simon looks back at Henry Wu. then throws up his hands as to wave his concerns away.
Alright then, good luck.
30 minutes after Wu had left the group at the quarters, he returned to find them all waiting in the break room, where Sarah, Tim and Jerry Harding had taken place around an oval table. Empty plates in front of them and plates of sandwiches and fruit in the center of the table. Tim had already taken a sandwich, unable to wait, and Henry started his explanation, knowing he didn't need to hold back.
After a family cruise accidentally came across this island in '97, their little girl got bitten by our compies. You probably remember this, Dr. Harding.
Yes.
Of course.
I'm sorry, I meant Sarah. It's what eventually escalated to the San Diego incident. Anyway, right around the time of the incident, Mr. Hammond got a call from the doctor who had treated the little girl. He found traces of a prion disease, which has been slowly killing our dinosaurs here. In response, Mr. Hammond asked me to save the animals.
What about the little girl?
She was lucky, but we can't be too sure. Which is why we started our research here. We're very close to finding a cure, certainly now that I have this. Thank you for bringing it, Sarah.
Henry Wu holds up a black box, the size of a lunchbox, the package unwrapped.
Yeah, what is that?
This device will help me transfer the data from the tapes in our old data center to an external hard drive, so I can take the data from there to our research center here, and fill in some missing pieces of the puzzle. The alternative would be to work at our data center, but that's too dangerous.
Wait, you said the disease was killing the dinosaurs here, so the animals are dying?
Yes, it was already progressing in '97. It seems that a large group of our compies died first. The reduced number of compies led to problems in other areas. See, the compies are mostly scavengers, and they clean up the dino dung. So with a much smaller population of compies, the manure starts to pile up, leading to a less healthy environment, making other animals more vulnerable. Like the brachiosaurs, they took on a serious skin condition. That's why we developed a new dinosaur that was supposed to target the sick animals and reduce major populations.
A new dinosaur?
Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, a large predator that can clean up a fallen brachiosaurus by eating it. Supposed to hunt and kill sick animals to reduce the disease from spreading, but the animal went rabid itself, and it seems to have a special dislike towards humans. If anything, it just seemed to have sped up the need for a cure.
So, we're witness to their extinction?
I certainly hope not.
How many times Ian tried to convince me, telling me 65 million years ago nature selected them for extinction.
Dr. Malcolm also said life will find a way.
Life is bigger than animal species, Doctor. It seems Mother Nature decided she was right the first time, now correcting the mistakes your company made over a decade ago.
I sincerely hope you don't believe that, Dr. Harding. We were hoping on your help to save these animals from facing that fate yet again.
Sarah, they're just animals.
I know, Dad, but do they really have a place here among us? They can never be free. They can never live out in the wild.
Oh, but they have. For the past few years, they've been living free
on an island too small to support them. You just told us they're dying because their environment is becoming more and more polluted by their own excrements. On our way here, we've seen separate packs of velociraptors, your two versions, fighting each other, most likely over grounds. If you ask me, the situation here is about to explode. Like the pterosaurs you found on the neighboring island, the animals will try to find their way off, expand. Do we really want these animals loose on the mainland? Haven't we learned enough from San Diego?
Dr. Harding, please, I think you're overreacting.
Sarah, please.
No, Dad. I know you've taken care of these animals for over a decade, ever since the first animals hatched, but I don't think this is the right thing to do. For what purpose?
The world should be able to witness these animals.
How? This island is a restricted area.
For now, yes.
What do you mean, for now? You're not building another park here, are you?
Actually, Mr. Masrani is planning to rebuild on his Lenubler. Location scouting has already begun. The first design is ready to be picked, construction set to start early next year. If we succeed with a cure, the park should open within 3 years, and John Hammond's dying wish will finally come true.
John Hammond is dead.
Sarah.
Shocked at her own outbreak, she shoots a look at Tim, apologizing.
Sorry, Tim. But how many more need to die? I'm sorry. I need to go. I need some air.
Sarah gets up and walks out of the room. Jerry Harding also gets up.
Let me talk to her. I'm sure she'll find reason in finding the cure. If not for the animals, then for us humans.
Okay.
I'll take her with me. We'll attend to the animals.
Thank you, Jerry.
Jerry leaves to follow Sarah, leaving Tim and Henry Wu behind. Both stay silent for a moment.
I understand you're here to learn from our security unit. Face your fears?
Tim nods uncertain. Unhappy Dr. Wu mentioned his fears.
You should accompany me to our old research compound. I'm going there now to get the data I need from the backups in the data center.
Okay.
I had hoped that Sarah would...
Then Raymond the pilot looks around the corner of the door, left open by Sarah and Jerry.
Hey! Henry! Timothy, is it?
Yeah, Tim. Raymond nods and looks at Henry again.
Have you seen Mr. Masrani? He told me he wanted to leave in the afternoon, just didn't say exactly when, and I can't find him.
Yes, he's busy with something urgent that came up at the control tower.
Control? Yeah, okay.
While you're waiting, how would you like to join us? I'm just going to fetch some data from the old research facility. We're short one person.
Do you think I've got time?
The matter Mr. Masrani is attending won't be solved that quickly, and we won't be gone long.
Raymond smiles.
Okay then, sure. This will be interesting.
Good. Then let's get ready so we can go and get back quickly.
In a small wooden shed on Isla Matanceros, Marty Gutierrez has set up a small lab with an expensive-looking carry-on microscope. The dead howler monkey is lying on the table. Not a pretty sight. Gonzalo enters the dimly lit room, lifting his nose to the bad smell. Having prepared several test slides, Marty slides them one by one under the clips on the stage of the microscope, zooming. Then the next slide, zooming.
Damn.
What is it?
Look.
Marty moves aside to let Gonzalo take a look. Through the lens, Gonzalo sees something what looks like a purple forest of tiny sticks.
Looks pretty.
Those are prions.
Then Gonzalo turns to look at Marty.
That thing was infected.
Gonzalo still doesn't understand.
These kill.
Oh.
Quietly, Gonzalo takes a step back from the table and the microscope.
How do you know?
4 years ago, a girl got bitten. I thought she had an allergic reaction. Turned out she got infected. She survived, but she's dying. Her body's slowly shutting down, and there's no cure.
Then a thought occurred to Gutierrez.
But this howler monkey was dead within days. The disease must have changed.
Gutierrez takes another part of a sample and adds it to a prepared tube with a transparent liquid. The contents turn brown.
Just as I suspected. I want to go and check the beach again. I'll need to catch her a live specimen.
Hello, this is Arjan Bos, and in this episode we heard again Jurassic Cast Podcast, Ross Lane as Henry Wu, and Jurassic Unicast James Hawkins as Marty Gutierrez. I wanted to throw you guys a special thank you for your enthusiasm early on in this project, which really got this going. Then another big thank you to Jennifer Tarek, doing a great job as a frustrated Sarah Harding here. We'll be hearing a lot more from her in the coming episodes. Also in this episode we heard Hemant Mishra as Samir Masrani, El Pacazoico as Gonzalo, Tom Fishenden as Raymond, Jurassic Unicast Stephen Hurrell as Gary Harding, and introducing to the show Jaroslav Kozmina as Hoskins. Thank you all, and until the next time on Extinction Level Jurassic Park.
So that was episode 12 of Extinction Level. That one was called Finding a Way. Yet again, Arjun is killing it with the episode titles, the timing of all this stuff. It's amazing that he's weaving these in at the right time. So this episode actually starts off with Masrani and Dr. Wu. They're having some really closed conversations, very quiet stuff here. And they do find out via Vic Hoskins, who makes a debut in this episode, I believe it was his debut, that there is a team out in the field that has found that dead T-Rex. They name him Fred, the one with the limp. And I think, for me, this is obviously the scene from Jurassic Park 3. So, man, yet again, we find out that there's, a team hot on the trail of the crew from Jurassic Park 3, Grant, the Kirbys, and all that. So we find out that there's a team hot on their trail finding this dead Rex. And like I was going to say before, instead my mind has wandered quite a bit. It's funny that we're getting these tie-ins and explanations, and I think that's amazing for me because it kind of easily pegs that Rex as the lesser T-Rex in that situation, or the lesser animal in that situation, and that's the reason why the Spinosaurus kills it. One of the reasons. A lot of people have issue with that Spinosaurus killing the T-Rex in that moment. Obviously people like to look at the natural dinosaurs in their environment, and maybe the Spinosaurus wouldn't win in that situation, but we're not in that situation. This is a movie. This is a highly advanced Spinosaurus, let's say, and this Rex has a limp, so let's give it a break. And it has a limp. Why? Why does it have a limp? Because it's the Rex from the Lost World, which is so sad. It has a limp. We can assume it's the same Rex, the one that they fixed the leg on, Eddie and Sarah, which, man, it's obviously this is not canon, but just thinking about it as canon makes me very sad, because you kind of got attached to that little guy. The whole thing, the whole Lost World is about like saving that child. The Rex, the parents in that situation, they want to get their kid back from the trailer, and then in the end of the movie, the bull T-Rex wants to get his son back, or whatever it was, son, daughter, I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of sad. So moving on, we do learn about those uninvited guests that have crashed their plane and bumped into a Spinosaurus, which caused the thing to attack, and we know that the people got away, and they're finding that all out as well. Dr. Wu does mention that he wants to go to another facility to check out some stuff, but Masrani doesn't really want him to go. He doesn't kind of let him go at first, unless he can bring some backup. But it looks like the only backup he has is Sarah and Tim. And at first they're like, well, can they handle the security? I don't know. But, they make mention that Tim has been practicing shooting with his dad, I believe, and Sarah, well, we know she can handle a gun because she shot that Rex in San Diego. So she's got a good shot there. So, yeah, I think he's got some good backup. Next up, we find Sarah, Tim, Jerry Harding, Dr. Wu. They're finding out some more information, some backstory that we kind of knew and some that we didn't. He tells them about the little girl getting injured, the one from the Lost World at the very beginning, Kathy Bowman. And that they found traces of the disease in her that's killing these dinosaurs. Now, she was lucky. She didn't get too, infected. She's okay. But, we've been following Sarah, and she's had this box with her this whole time. We finally find out that it's a device to transfer data from these tapes to fill in all these puzzle pieces on this disease. So we'll find out more if we get to utilize that a little bit. But we do also find out that these dinosaurs are dying off slowly. This is something that started, I guess, with the Compies. The Brachiosaurus have skin conditions, which, man, it's crazy the stuff that he is explaining here, because to me, that Brachiosaurus in Jurassic Park 3 is probably the worst rendered dinosaur in the entire series. I think it looks absolutely horrible. And it doesn't look anything like the dinosaur or the Brachiosauruses. Brachiosauri? Sources? I don't know, whatever. It doesn't look anything like those ones in the first movie, and heck, not even the one in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So, yeah, that's a great explanation. It boggles my mind. Every time I hear these things, I'm like, man, he's killing it. He's filling in all these pieces. That device that Sarah brought, I think that device should be called Extinction Level Jurassic Park, because it's filling in all these puzzle pieces that we all wanted to know about. And since there's so many dinosaurs injured and dying off and sick and skin conditions and all that, InGen or Wu or whoever created a new dinosaur to hopefully wipe out all the sick animals and reduce the population. Any guesses on what that was? Well, I guess you don't need to guess. You heard it in that segment. It's a Spinosaurus. And the thing went rabid itself. Perfect explanation for this dinosaur. I've been saying it all along, and a lot of people have been saying it, that this thing is a little special. It's not a Spinosaurus that we know from natural life. It's a bit different. And I've been saying it all along that this thing is a hybrid of sorts, or, the first maybe in the testing to create something like the Indominus Rex. Maybe that's what we have here. They created a new dinosaur to wipe out all these sick animals. And what better than some crazed dinosaur, something big, something, bigger than usual, something angrier, scarier, then, why not create this Spinosaurus, something that scares everything, and in my opinion, could take the Indominus Rex in a fight, I think. But we do learn that he said that it went rabid itself, so it's a little bit more testy than usual. But at this point, Sarah is freaking out. Jennifer Tarek did an amazing job at bringing Sarah to life and acting like none other in this sequence. It's amazing. It's so great that she did this. Sarah is really just trying to school everybody on the placement of these animals in nature, arguing against this island, essentially, that none of this should exist in a way, or, how unnatural it all is. And it just is blowing my mind, Arjun. What are you doing, man? Wow, I can't believe it. This is the exact argument that Ian is making in Fallen Kingdom, in that courtroom scene or whatever it is, the testimonial, saying that this shouldn't be, that if we're not careful, things will get out of hand, and these don't belong in nature. Man, I can't believe the timing of all this. And we do get more tie-ins to Jurassic World, which is awesome. Dr. Wu mentions that Masrani is proposing to open another park in about 3 years. And that's another great tie-in there. And it's funny to hear, the reactions here. Sarah is storming out of the room, needs a little bit of air. And, at that point, Dr. Wu is still trying to get to that other compound. And he's like, Tim, you mind covering me? And I guess he stumbles across Raymond here. I think it was the helicopter pilot, and recruits him as well. Now, lastly, we head out to Gutierrez. He is hot on the trail of dead dinosaurs and howler monkeys and all that. And he is now in this little bungalow of sorts, I guess, with a microscope, checking out these slides from this dead howler monkey, finding that the prions are there on the slide. Which the thing's infected, and we kind of assume that, right? I mean, I guess they mentioned the little girl again from the Lost World, and it seems like the disease may have changed. It's got a faster turnaround now, and the last thing he needs to do, I guess, is check a live specimen to check his results. He wants to see what's going on with this disease, and this disease, I guess, has been playing a very small role in either like the beginning or the end of these episodes, but I think there's a lot more going on here. We found out that the Spino was rabbit itself, but there's a bigger story here to tell, and I think it's gonna maybe cause an extinction level. I think maybe that's gonna tie in somehow, but I don't know how the disease is gonna advance. So that's gonna be curious to watch here. So we'll have to find out. But yeah, that was it. Again, we had some great performances from Arjun, Ross Lane, Hemant Mishra, Jennifer Tarek, Steve Hurl, James Hawkins, of course, Francisco Gasco, and I think that was the first episode for Yaroslav, bringing Vic Hoskins to life. Great job, dude. But yeah, that's it for episode 12 and the wrap-up show. Stay tuned for episode 13 of Extinction Level Jurassic Park on Christmas Day.
I have good reason to believe that you would find this challenging.
You should hear a 4-year-old try to say Archaeornithomimus.
You should hear you try to say it.
Even problem-solving intelligence, especially the big one.
Well, this madness must stop. Now.
Are you, sir?
No, gentlemen.
How did you know?
One drop of this can paralyze you, so watch out.
Thank God.
Is this real?
Yes.
It is?
Jurassic Pop Quiz with Jurassic Unicast.
And welcome back to Jurassic Unicast. I'm joined with my little cousin Daniel.
Hello.
How old are you, Dan?
I'm 14.
So this is the perfect age for Jurassic Park films, just to get his insight on it and his knowledge on what he likes and what he dislikes. So Dan, this isn't this isn't a question more of like your knowledge. It's just more of something based on your insight of like, because you're 14, you're at the age where you didn't obviously grow up with the films. You've kind of watched them as you've been like as you've grown up, like on DVD and stuff, haven't you?
Yes.
It wasn't Jurassic World. That's probably why it's your favourite, because it's the first one you've experienced at the cinema.
Yeah.
So, could you explain what do you look for in the films? Like, what is it that you find interesting, and what do you find like what do you want? Like, what's the sort of thing you want in the Jurassic Park films?
Well, I want it to be like I want it to be like action, but also like a little bit of comedy, or it just bores me. But I want there to be like loads and loads of dinosaurs, because I like loads of dinosaurs, and I just want it to be quite funny and action packed. That's mainly it.
How do you feel about like the science side of it? Are you bothered by it? Do you care if the film, I guess, if it isn't explained overly a lot, like would you like an explanation of why things have done how they're done?
Well, I feel that like you can't really have the film without the science bit, because then it just doesn't make sense to like, I think they need the science bit in. It is a little bit complicated, but of course it's going to be complicated, like cloning dinosaurs and stuff like that. So yeah, you definitely need it, but I think it makes up for it with all of the action and stuff like that. And I don't think it's overly complicated, because I think if you think about it, it's quite simple to understand. It just like uses complicated words. But
do you feel like with Jurassic World, did you feel that the person that made the film, did you think that they did a good job, and what about that film that made it your favourite?
Well, I liked how modern it was. I would have preferred it if it like stayed with the theme of the others, and instead of making it a theme park.
Okay.
I think I would have liked.
So you
it
like
if
the
it was more...
safari style instead?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and more like exploring and stuff. But if it's already there, it's not as authentic, and it's like just a place where you can see dinosaurs. It's not that special.
So you like the idea of there actually being a place you could go to, like Disney World?
Yeah.
You could go to this park and actually visit them.
Yeah, so like I'd rather like go this is just what's it called? This is I can't explain it. I would just say I'd rather go like scuba diving than go to an aquarium and see the animals. I'd rather experience it. Just so like in the films, I'd rather see them exploring instead of it already being there and.
Oh, okay.
In front of
so you mean like, but if you look at that from a, so you got like the Lost World where they go to the island where they're not in enclosures, and it's a lot more dangerous though, and there's no protection. But you like that watching it from a film's perspective, but how would you feel like if it was a real place? Would you rather go there in the wild and risk, with no safety, or would you like to go to T-Rex Kingdom and watch the T-Rex feed in and see these animals up close but safe though? Safe.
I'd personally, I know it sounds a bit stupid, but I would rather see it like in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, still a bit of safety, so like, say you're still in them like protective balls and stuff, like going around. But yeah, I'd like it to be like a safari. So instead of a zoo, like a safari where you can experience it in real life.
Yeah. I guess the Gyrosphere Valley bit with the herbivores was a bit like that, weren't it?
Yeah, that's what I like.
But you mean you'd like that with the carnivores as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. What did you think of the of like the Gyrosphere things? Do you think there was a little bit too futuristic?
I'd say it needs to be like a bit more sensible. I didn't understand it. I mean, it's a cool concept. I just think that going straight from like the movie before that straight to like really 21st century modern and like really technological.
Yeah.
I think it was a big step up. They need to like gradually turn it like that, because they've like gone from an island, like a normal island place, into like a huge technology like environment with like big metal cages and like metal balls and like hamsters just going around.
Yeah, I guess so. No, it's that's the thing. Like a lot of the people are torn between, like the ones that don't like Jurassic World as much tend to be like the guys that are my age.
Yeah.
A little bit like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot. There's probably more fans that love it, like me, than don't like it. But there are obviously other fans out there that don't like it as much because of that reason. Now, did that ruin the film for you at all, or have you just sort of accepted it straight away and it's not really a problem?
It definitely hasn't ruined the film, because it's still an awesome film. I'm just being really critical, because if there was something I would change, it would be that. But it's still an awesome film. It's just, I would say it would be that little bit better.
You would stick to like Cars?
Yeah.
Something that's actually like a bit more down to earth.
And stuff,
yeah, that's cool. That's fair enough. So Dan, what do you want from the next film? Like, from what we know so far, I'm being quite spoiler free. I've not been researching anything, but what I do know, just the stuff that's been officially released.
Yeah.
One of the producers have said that there's going to be a volcano on the island.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
Now, obviously, it's all speculation. It's just a concept. No one really knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the new director, the guy that's making the film, his experience in past films have been horror films.
Yeah.
So do you like that side of the film? That side of making it a little bit darker, so it's going to be a bit more death, a bit more, less sparkly and new.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I wouldn't want it to be too scary that it's gone up at age rating.
I know it won't do. It'll still be a PG-13 or a 12A or something.
I want the jump scares and the shocks, but I wouldn't aim to turn it really dark and gloomy with death and stuff. I'll keep it the same genre, just add a little bit more suspense and
a little bit more suspense. But you like the comedy side, don't you?
Yeah.
So you still want there to be quirky, comic remarks. How do you feel about Ian Malcolm? Because Ian Malcolm is now back as a new character. He's the main character that was in The Lost World with a daughter. He was quite funny in the first film. He was the one that said that is one big pile of poo.
Yeah.
And he was quite a comical character, wasn't he? But he's back for this new one.
Yeah, I mean that'd probably be much better if there's someone that they can joke around and not too serious in a place like that.
In a serious environment.
Yeah, in a really serious environment with dinosaurs everywhere. He can take a joke. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be much better. The comical side will come out a bit more, and yeah, I think it'll be a good change to the story.
So, what do you think of the Indominus Rex?
I mean, I think it's really cool. It's I still think it's gone too technological, and they've gone from classic dinosaurs in a forest to turning a simple T-Rex into an absolute killing machine.
But can you see? I'm not trying to assuage your opinion at all.
Yeah.
But in today's sort of society, where you want to film stuff all the time and record it on your phones, and that was the company's way of obviously getting more visitors to have a brand new attraction. I guess you could just simply make a new dinosaur. One that's never been seen before would be quite a good idea. But what do you think of the hybrids? Would you like to see a hybrid?
I would like to see more hybrids. For look wise, I think it was quite basic, as it just for me it looked like just a white,
regular dinosaur.
Bigger T-Rex.
Yeah.
And if they mixed other animals to turn it into a completely different appearance.
So the old Lego games, where you could make a T-Rex head on a Brachiosaurus's body or silly things like that.
Yeah, I think a completely different look to a new animal would be better, instead of designing it around a body of another dinosaur.
Yeah, so that's fair enough. So, would you like to see more marine animals?
Yes, definitely. I like marine life, and my favourite dinosaurs are ichthyosaur.
And we've not seen one of them yet. They're the dolphin ones, aren't they?
We've only got the huge giant water
Mosasaurus.
One. That's it. And yeah, maybe they could do if they're going to keep the technological side of it with the big zoo enclosure thing, whatever it is.
With all the state of the art stuff.
They could maybe do a submarine expedition. That's it. I can't say.
Yeah, that's right.
They should maybe get one of them. Maybe explore the sea life, because there's so much there's more in the sea than there is on land. So I think that'd be a completely different side of the island that we haven't seen.
But you would need someone to create all of these animals, though.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know whether that would happen. But if there was, say for example, a whole. Like a sea world, but of the dinosaur marine life world.
I think that'd
you'd like that. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
Maybe if they could even create a spin-off of it, and they look it's like they flip the island round, look at the bottom of the island instead of what's on top, explore everything underneath, all the sea life there.
They had the
I
game,
think that'd be
the
really
Jurassic
cool.
World mobile game did that, didn't it? You
Yeah.
could go underneath and you had
could-
all the marine
yeah,
animals.
there's like enclosures underneath the island. Yeah, that was really cool. And with the storm as well, every time the storm,
Yeah.
where the dinosaurs went really angry. Yeah, that's really cool. I like that.
You like that idea of that?
Yeah.
So, Dan, you know, like all these new films, the CGI is quite important, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think of the CGI in Jurassic World?
That's special effects and stuff.
Yeah, special effects.
Yeah. I think they're really good. I think they managed to capture like the dinosaurs' features really, really well, and I think it's like really clean and crisp. Unlike other films, you can see that their budget was quite high because it's really well done. Unlike other films, where
So do you think that do you think the dinosaurs are more realistic in Jurassic World than you did for like Jurassic Park?
yeah, I think they are because it's more advanced.
Okay, so what? Because this is like quite a big topic. Like for example, like a lot of when you're on when the adults are on Twitter, the ones that have like my age, they tend to. A lot of people aren't happy with how the dinosaurs looked on Jurassic World, and they thought that the CGI in the first film was better than the newest film. My opinion, I don't think it was. I don't. There's certain shots that are not as crisp as others.
Yeah, but that's going to be in every film.
Yeah, but like you said, you're right. That's in every film. So you was 100% happy with how everything looked.
Yeah, I was. I think it's more advanced, so of course everything would look much neater. That's personally my opinion.
How do you feel about the animatronics? You know, like the robot dinosaurs. Do you think because they didn't have any in Jurassic World, it was all CGI, apart from the Apatosaurus when it was dying. That was the only one that they used as like a fake one. Do you think that, in my opinion, I think the blend of both puppet ones and the CGI together works really well, and that's what worked well for the Jurassic Park 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park 1 relied more on the animatronics because the CGI wasn't as good then. But how do you feel about this time round? Do you think, would you like to bring more animatronics back, or are you happy with the CGI how it is?
I'm personally happy with the CGI, as I feel like animatronics is really hard to like get the movement of like a dinosaur how it would really move.
Yeah.
So I think no matter what you do, the dinosaur will always like come off robotically, and like you can't capture how the dinosaur would move. It's like no one was alive in them times. We got a rough idea, but no one really 100% knows how they move. So trying to capture them in like robot form and trying to control them, I'd say it's not as clean. And
So
CGI.
basically, you're saying you'd rather watch a CGI dinosaur interact with a person using special effects, because it's got more realistic, fluid,
more fluid.
and you've got, I suppose, there's a lot more things you can do with CGI, isn't there, than there is animatronics. So you'd rather that than an animatronic.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did you think of the animatronics though in the last films, like the old films?
I mean, because they didn't have much CGI, it was amazing as they still managed to like, capture all of the dinosaurs. I think they managed to capture them really, really well. And because they didn't have as advanced CGI as they do now, I think they did what they had. I think they did an amazing job.
Because it holds up, doesn't it? Like you can watch Jurassic Park 1 now, and it still looks as if it could have been done 5 years ago, doesn't it? So they must. So obviously it was state of the art then. Than it is as much as it is now. Now this new film, there's rumor has it that they're going to bring back a few more animatronics. It could be for lighting standings. It could be like, so they class lighting on it to see how a CGI dinosaur would look. Or it could actually be an animatronic. No one really knows. What do you think about them are you happy? Like, I know you just said you like CGI anyway. So would it bother you that they brought back the animatronics as long as it's done right? Or
no, not at all. I would not mind at all. As I said, like in the earlier Jurassic Parks, the animatronics were really, really good, and like just a really small step below the CGI. So I feel that with the animatronics and CGI we have now, I feel that
it'll look the bee's knees.
Exactly. It won't look much different, and I think it'll look. I think it'll still like a really good combination.
Yeah, I think it'll look good. Why is Jurassic Park 3 the worst one for you?
I just feel that nothing really pops out to me. Like, unlike Jurassic World, where you've got all the technological stuff, and you got, which is the one with the caravan or the trailer.
The trailers, the Lost World.
Yeah, the Lost World.
The two T-Rexes.
Yeah, I think that because of the comedy side, and it's like a big moment in like Jurassic Park, is like it gets you really on the edge of your seat.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's one of the most intense scenes in the whole thing, I think.
That's the main thing that I remember about them too, and because I was thinking about them, and I couldn't think of something that like intense from the other two.
Do you know what I liked about the Lost World, which is not always a popular opinion? I like the fact that the T-Rex went back to San Diego in the city and started walking around and destroying the city.
Yeah.
Bit like, I know it's very Godzilla, but it was quite good, and I thought it was quite, and it was good to. I think it was good to see something that you know and see every day, like a house, and then see a T-Rex compared in size. Yeah. And that's just my opinion. Being a kid, I was only your age when the Lost World came out. I was younger. I was 9. I was younger than Matthew. I was younger than your brother when the Lost World came out, and that to me was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, but you don't like. So you like Jurassic Park 3 the least because there was
nothing really stands out.
Nah, and there was no impact moments in it. It was just literally. It's my least favourite only because it's very rushed.
Yeah.
All they're doing is constantly running from dinosaurs constantly, and I don't think there was a lot of problems behind the scenes with that film though. There was like a lot of script problems. They couldn't get a proper script for the film, and lots of people were drafting new scripts for it. That's why it wasn't as wasn't as successful. But yeah, that's it really. But yeah, this is the Jurassic Pop Quiz. So Daniel, are you ready for this little challenge?
Yes, I certainly am.
Okay. So Dan, question number 1: If you had to, would you either eat dinosaur poo or drink dinosaur wee? If you had to.
Drink dinosaur wee.
Why is that?
Because you can just down it.
You could just down it.
Go,
down it.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was poo, you have to.
But you could down poo.
No, you couldn't. It would just get clogged up in your throat and you would choke. I guess.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very nice actually.
Yeah,
would
it'd be much easier if you just
downed wee.
Yeah.
Oh, what if it's cloudy?
I don't know, but it's going to be nicer than poo, isn't it?
That's true. Okay, right, question 2. You've got to design your own dinosaur. You can use a mixed match of whatever you want. What would it be, and what would you call it?
I'd have an ichthyosaur.
Yep.
And ankylosaurus, like the tail was on the ichthyosaur, and it would just be called the hard-tailed dolphin.
The hard-tailed dolphin.
Asaur. The hard-tailed dolphinosaur.
Okay.
Because I don't know a good name for it. I mean, like, it would look cool, but like, what can you call it?
A hard-tailed dolphin. But if it's a dolphin, wouldn't it need to breathe underwater?
Yeah, it does.
So it basically is a dolphin that swims upside down with its head under the water,
yeah,
with its tail in the air, with its bum in the air, waving its tail.
No, because it's got the dolphin body and just the ichthyosaur tail. It's just not very streamlined, or it just doesn't go fast. It can swim. It's just got the ankylosaur tail, so it's just like dragging it down to the bottom of the ocean, I guess.
Okay, right. Question number 3. Name your favourite films out of the Jurassic Park, like in order. So you've got all 4 films, haven't you, so far? Jurassic Park 1, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. Could you name them in order of your favourites?
Jurassic World is probably my favourite, because that's more modern, I think, and I like Chris Pratt as an actor. The next one, which is the one where he gets torn in half by the T-Rexes.
That's the Lost World.
The Lost World, yeah. I like that, just because it's funny. And then the one where they're on the edge with the caravan. Which one's that?
That's the Lost World too.
Is that a Lost World?
Yeah, the trailers.
Oh yeah.
And the T-Rex pushes it off the cliff.
Yeah, that's probably one of. Yeah, no, that's my favourite one because that's the funniest one. And
That
then
is a good one.
And then I got
Jurassic World. It's my second favourite one. And then I'll just put Jurassic Park 1 next favourite and Jurassic Park 2 the other one. Just because Jurassic Park 1 is the original.
Jurassic Park 3's last, yeah?
Yeah, just because the original. You can't really. Yeah, the original. It's just the original. You can't go wrong with it.
Okay, good man. I like the fact that you got the Lost World first though, because that's like among like the fans like that, you know, that do regular stuff like with me on the podcast and stuff. Lost World is pretty popular, but to people that aren't huge fans of Jurassic Park in general, the Lost World isn't. So good man. Respect.
It's just because I'm a child. I enjoy it's quite funny.
The silly things like
he gets pushed off the edge of a cliff in like a little caravan thing, or they survive. And then they steal the
That's
little.
supposed to be like one of the most intense.
Yeah,
things
but then
in the
they
whole
steal
film.
the
And he's
little
laughing at it.
dinosaur as well, and then the T-Rex is like, "No, I want my baby back." So
Yeah, it's fair enough.
it's quite funny.
Okay, so now is the time of your challenge, your first challenge.
Ooh.
It's going to be name as many characters in the Jurassic Park films as quickly as you can in 30 seconds. All right, so I'm going to start a timer and you have to give it your best.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I
3,
think.
2, 1, go.
So you got Hammond, Malcolm, Lex, Tim, Kelly, Carter, AJ, Owen, Harding.
It's 9. That's good.
Did I say Dr. Malcolm?
You've already said Malcolm.
Okay.
That's fine. About the kids.
Oh, I've said 3 of them. Is there something Grey?
Yep.
Grey. Is that a name?
Yep. Grey.
Grey and...
3, 2.
I don't know.
And it's up there. That's not bad, mate. You think you got about 9 or 10 now?
Oh,
That's pretty impressive, to be fair.
I just had to memorise them all.
Yeah, no, that's good. You should. You're one of the best ones that has done that.
Am I the kid?
You're. Well, no, Steve's little girl did it, but they didn't really do it properly. They were talking about poo most of the time because they're 6. But yeah, no. Now this one's going to be the dinosaur challenge. All right, so you've got to now name as many dinosaurs as you can, but let me just set the timer.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, I should be quite good.
This one you should probably be quite good at. Okay, so you've got to name as many dinosaurs as you can. Ready? 3. In the franchise.
In the films.
Yeah.
Got it.
3, 2, 1, go.
T-Rex, Spinosaurus, Pterodactyl, Stegosaurus, Triceratops, Ichthyosaur. Is that in
Nope.
I can't think.
Think Jurassic World as well.
Oh, Brachiosaurus, Velociraptors.
I think we said them too.
Oh,
About the newest one, the scariest one.
yeah, the big one. What was his name?
You left out Indominus Rex and the newest one.
Is that classed as a dinosaur?
Well, he's in the franchise, isn't he? It's supposed to be. He's supposed to be a dinosaur. But I guess. Okay, so moving on. I think. So we're on our last question. Now, this last question, right, is whether I disown you as a cousin or not.
Oh gosh. It's going to be something that you find really easy, but I just don't know.
No. This is just a question that you should always get right.
Okay.
Are you a T-Rex man or a Spinosaurus man?
Oh no. I'm a Spinosaurus.
Oh, get out! Out now! Out. Leave. Go. Don't ever return.
Bye.
You can't teach kids these days.
Make sure to visit JurassicParkPodcast.com to find all our past episodes, brand new news articles, information on how to contact us, and much more. It's a great source for everything related to the podcast, and of course, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Head to JurassicParkPodcast.com and help us build a great community.
Anybody hear that?
Thanks for listening to the 128th episode of the Jurassic Park Podcast. Of course, a big thanks to Arjun for another great installment of Extinction Level Jurassic Park. We learned so much in this episode and connected so many dots that we didn't even know we wanted connected, but it's so great. Also, Jennifer, you did a great job as Sarah Harding in this episode. Of course, a big thanks to James and Dan for today's Jurassic Pop Quiz. I love this segment so much, especially the ones with kids in it. I think it really shines a new light on those of us who have been fans for 25 years. This shows us a big difference and a different side of the fandom. Thanks again, guys. That was a lot of fun. If you want to interact with us, we do most of our work over on Twitter at Jurassic Park Pod. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/Jurassic Park Podcast, and our Instagram handle is at Jurassic Park Podcast. You can listen to us via iTunes, Google Play, Podomatic, YouTube, our website, or wherever else podcasts are found. So make sure to subscribe to automatically get new episodes every week. If you haven't already, please give us a 5-star review in iTunes or a great review wherever you listen to the podcast. It will seriously help out our rankings and make it easier for fans like you to find us. We're usually spotted commenting on the Jurassic Park subreddit as Jurassic Park Podcast. Don't forget to check out JurassicParkPodcast.com for all the links you heard here today. If you want to get a hold of us, you can email us with any news stories, MP3s, comments, or if you want to debut a segment of your own, send them to JurassicParkPod@gmail.com, or you can submit questions directly on our website contact form. If you'd like to record something for the show, send it in to us and we'll feature it in an upcoming episode. If you don't have any way to record, you can give our voicemail line a call and leave us a message. That number is 732-825-7763. Thanks for listening, and enjoy.
"5 minutes. Drop what you're doing and leave now."